that I may have, but not because of lack of knowledge in my Islamic ruling, but because of doubt itself. What do I have to do in these cases? We'll be going over them with the salawat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Many places it's possible that I may know a ruling for something, but I have fallen into a place of doubt. We'll be going over three general rulings that with these rulings a lot of the places of doubt can be solved for someone. The first, known as istishab. Istishab. Istishab means to take away the doubts and refer to the certain. When I, for example, am getting up to do prayer, salat, and it's time for dhuhr, but I don't know whether my wudu has been taken away or not, whether I have done anything that might cause my wudu to disappear or not. Have I taken wudu before that or no? That's the question which I should be looking for. A place where there is doubt is not supposed to be thought of at all. This can cause doubt or waswas to build up. When I have a certain state that I have before that, if I have a certain state that I know of, that's which I refer to. This is known as istishab, referring to the certain. And a hadith from the Imam, from Abu Hasan al-Awwal or Imam Qadam alayhi salam, he says, إِذَا شَكَكْتَ فَابْنَ عَلَى الْيَقِينِ. Anytime you have doubt, then leave it to the certain. The person asked, هذا الأصل? Is this a general ruling for every single place? The Imam Qadam alayhi salam replied, Naam. This is a general ruling. Hada al-asl. This is something that you can use in many of the places. A general ruling that whenever you have doubt between something that is unknown and certain, refer to the certain. Fabna ala al-yaqeen. Leave any doubt that you have aside and only go along with yaqeen. Sometimes, many of the times, I'm in the middle of an action. The first one was istishab. Second, sometimes it's possible that I may be in the middle of an action. I may be doing prayer. I may be doing a ritual act. But I have doubt of the previous part or previous sequence that was before it. For example, my prayers. I did my prayer, I stood up, I rose, and I did hamd and surah. After that, I went down to ruku. When I went down to ruku, I doubted. Did I do my hamd and surah before or not? What is it up to me here? There is a ruling or a general ruling similar to istishab called tajawuz. Means to continue the action that you have in place of doubt of its correction. If I'm in an action and I'm doing a religious act, a ritual act, and I'm in prayer, for example, and I have changed from one state, one sequence to the other state, from qiyam to ruku, and I have doubts in the correct being, in my qiyam being correct, have I done hamd and surah or not? Over here we have a general ruling called tajawuz. Means that any single place, sequence, previous sequence that you have passed by, over here you just leave it as is and you don't even think about it, and your prayers will be accepted inshallah. And a hadith from Abu Jafar alayhi salam, or the Imam Sadiq. A person by the name of Ismail ibn Jabir came to the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and he heard the Imam Sadiq say, كل شيء شك فيه مما قد جاوزه دخل في غيره فلينظر عليه. Any single thing that you have doubt in, which you have already gone through, which you have changed from one sequence to the next sequence, then just leave it as is. Don't even think about it, because if you think about it, it could cause you to completely ruin your prayers and redo it. It's no necessity. We have been refrained from getting rid of our prayers, retrying them from the beginning without any reason. There's no reason to do it, so anytime you have doubts in a previous sequence, leave it as is. Because then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inshallah accept it from you, and you can use this hadith of the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam as a guarantee. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you on the day of judgment, bring up Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, a beautiful intercessor for each and every single one of us. Now it's possible that someone may do this in wudu. Now this ruling of tajawuz, this general ruling, is only done in every action besides wudu. If I'm in wudu and I have washed my face and I have washed my arms and it's time to do the mess or the wiping of my head, Now I doubt, have I washed my face correctly or not? Over here, tajawuz is not done. Many of the scholars, most of the scholars have come to this conclusion that tajawuz is not done in wudu. If you are in wudu and you have went from one sequence to the next and you have doubts in the previous sequence, then return and do that and then continue from there on your wudu. This is tajawuz, which is done in most of the actions besides wudu. A third general ruling that many of us can use, firagh. Faragh. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Faragh is that when I leave an action completely and I'm finished with it, I've completely put it aside, then I doubt. I doubt whether what I have done was correct or not. What do I do here? Over here, faragh is implemented. I completely leave it as is. It's correct, it's fine. No need to think about it anymore. And a hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, from a person by the name of Muhammad ibn Muslim. The Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, كُلُّ مَا شَكَكْتَ فِيهِ مِمَّا قَدْ مَضَى فَانْظِهْ كَمَا هُوَ. Anything that you have doubts in from anything that has passed, any action, ritual that you have done, which has passed, it's over, it's completed, and you doubt in its authenticity, in it being correct, then just leave it as is. Leave it as is. فَانْظِهْ كَمَا هُوَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it from you, and do not leave your doubt and allow your doubt to take over. These are some three general rulings that can help each and every single one of us a lot of the times. These are three general rulings, very rich and very useful to each and every single one of us. We have went over the first answer of those who may have waswas or OCD in their actions. Those who do not have knowledge. But what about those who have it because it's a problem? This is where there is real disease and sickness. So much I know myself, I have seen, come into contact with experience that they know the Islamic rulings, they have knowledge of it, but their over obsession actually causes them to be over obsessive and unnecessary, excessive inside of their a'mal for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same story as the man who in the shrine of Lady Fatima, Lady Ma'suma alayhi salam, said that when I see another person's shoe become najis, I have to wash my own shoe. Why is that? It's because I obsess over najasah to the point where I'm not able to be comfortable until I am completely at ease. In the restroom, I take hours. When I wash my hands, I take hours. When I see another person's hand, it has nothing to do with me, but it's his hand. It's someone else's hand, but I have to wash my own hand. Why is that? Because this, in reality, is a disease. This is a problem. This right here is an actual problem. This sickness, which might come in one's heart, is a product made from one's obsession over something that has slowly grown over time. For example, if I know the ruling that I have wudu if I am in doubt whether I have wudu or not. I have wudu and I'm sure I had wudu, but I'm in a state right now where I'm in doubt whether I have wudu or I don't have wudu. I know the ruling, I have to do istishab, I have wudu, correct. But I think about it, I think about my doubt, I think about the possibilities so much to the point where it's like I'm just not comfortable, I have to get wudu. This is what happens to someone who completely over obsesses. This is OCD, this is a problem, this is a sickness, a disease. Thinking about it too much will cause me to get my wudu from the beginning, when in reality I already had wudu. There's no need for me to do it. I'm doing something unnecessary and wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want such a thing from you. When you have done something correctly, then there's no point in doing it from the beginning. And the verse which is recited in the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Shall I inform you of the greatest losers in their action? الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. There are those who do good in this world with the impression and thought that they are doing something good, something that has actual meaning and richness, but in reality, it's just an empty shell. It's hollow. It's not anything very beneficial. It's just a couple of movements, a couple of actions, which leads to nothing. A dead flower. Me thinking I'm putting a rose up front, but in reality, it's a dead rose. This is definitely an action which can cause me to be among the greatest losers in my a'mal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Waswas, a problem very bad. Some who go over OCD because it's an actual problem should keep this in mind, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself did not make these obligations on you to make it harder for you, to take your time, to wear you down, to put weight on your shoulders, but in reality, just so that you may able to show your sincereness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in the Quran of Surah Taha, the second verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says to his prophet, "Ma anzalna alayka al-Qur'an litashqa." I as Allah have not revealed upon you the Quran so that you may go through hardship, so that I may burden you. No, I have done this only so that you may be guided to the right path. Waswas or OCD is a problem that if we have it, we have to try our best to get rid of it. And the way to do it is clear but hard. It's not as easy as it sounds. It's to just completely ignore. Any time that I am in doubt whether I have wudu or not, but I'm sure that I had wudu to begin with, just leave it as is. Don't think about it. You think about it, then it will cause to grow, manifest, and then it will lead you to doing wudu again, doing your prayer again. These are all unnecessary actions that in reality Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are those who are al-akhsarina a'malan, are those who in their actions are the greatest losers. Because in reality, I'm not doing anything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's all just a bunch of hollow and shallow movements. Now, as we have reached our limit tonight, we shall go over this topic in the future nights, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq, success of becoming among the true Shias of the Ahlul Bayt. And may we be all alim and amil to the teachings of the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalam. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa alihi al-tahirin.